Hello, you guys. Welcome back to Channel Claire. Hope that you're doing well wherever you are in this crazy, crazy world. Now, as you can see, I have gotten this little microphone, so I'm hoping the quality of the audio is a hell of a lot better than it has been. Fingers crossed. And I gotta figure out how to clip it to me and all of that, but for right now, I feel comfortable holding it. But I wanted to get on here briefly to talk about a few things, okay? So, Prince William goes back to work. He goes back to perform his royal duties. We see him arriving in his regalia to do this like super formal ceremony where he's like standing here and this other guy is standing in front of him. I'll put the video. But as he's standing there, he seems to be swaying, okay? Like swaying. And the common theme that I've been feeling like I'm seeing in the world of this royal family situation, and it's showing up in my own life, like at work and stuff, professionally, is that there are certain people who can get away with certain things, okay? And then there's others that their every move, you know, is nitpicked at, and they get no grace. Because if Meghan Markle, even if she were in the same exact situation, or Harry, same exact situation, if he had gotten up and went to this event and was sitting here swaying as standing while standing up, ripped apart, they would be saying they're on drugs. They would be saying they had went on a bender and they're hungover. They'd be all types of health claims and speculation, all of that. Let it had been Harry or Meghan. But because it's William, it's like, oh, let's have sympathy. You know, his father just was diagnosed with cancer and his wife is still recovering. He has a lot on his shoulders. They have a staff of 60. They have a staff of 60. I would hope that William visited his father, but we didn't see that because apparently the brothers can't be around each other. They're not going to have a meeting. They're not going to talk. Craziness. So, this video of William and he's like blinking like this a lot, and I'm like, let that have been Harry. Are you kidding me? The stories that they would make up on the headlines, all that they would run that video. The derangers would have that in their stockpiled folders and make it into little gifs and gifs or whatever the fuck they call it and post it all over Twitter. It would be insane. So the theme is certain people can get away with certain things while others get shit on repeatedly, and it's not fair. And it's not fair. So I'm gonna put this video. I want you to see what I see. I don't know about you, but when I'm standing still, I don't sway unless I'm like fucked up. You know what I mean? So and I understand that their father is diagnosed with cancer. It is a sad situation. I understand it's a sad situation, but it seems as if although it's a sad, tragic situation, the brothers still can't talk. So, do they even see it as such a sad situation? They're not even giving it the reverence that it deserves by putting all this foolishness to the side, getting together as a family, squashing it, talking, being in the same room with one another. They're not showing the reverence that it deserves because it is a big deal. So, yeah, here's the video. So I was just watching the video back and I'm looking at trying to between William swaying, I'm looking at the ornate surroundings that he's in, the huge murals on the walls, painted on the walls from who knows how long ago. Okay? The freaking all the gilded chrome and chandeliers and just the crown molding and the opulence, the velvet settees and the candelabras, just he's known only that all of them have known that from like birth if they weren't married into it. And I'm just thinking like how would I be if I lived in such opulence? And like that's not a normal life, okay? So living that way does not you don't growing up that way, I feel like you can't grow up as quote unquote normal. Like what is normal? But like you know what I mean. Living in that way. And they're standing in this room and he's standing there. I guess he's being I don't even know what was happening in the situation. Maybe he was being reinstated in because he's taking over duties for his father. But he's standing here, he's swaying, blinking and everything. And I'm wondering what's going through his mind. I wish I was a fly on the wall. Yes, it's a lot of pressure, but I feel like if they just were like, hey, this is what's going on, this is what's happening, it would put a lot of speculation to rest. It's like, okay, you tell the truth, and that's just what it is. And what can people say? You know, it is what it is. Um, but I'm just like, these people live, there's no way you can turn out normal living in that way. And then it makes me think about the fact that Harry gave up all of that to be with Meghan because he was concerned about her mental health and his family. And he took her and they left and they went over to Montecito, set it up, and are trying to do their best to like get through shit. His father had cancer. He immediately went home because God forbid if he would have taken like even 3 days the headlines. Harry doesn't care about his father. Icy reception about King Charles's cancer diagnosis. He has no heart. He's so selfish. Oh, Meghan has him chained to the house and said, "Oh, you can't go and go see your father who's ailing of cancer." The thing. So he had to immediately get the fuck up and go. And then they meet for 30 to 45 minutes and Harry pieced the fuck out. But he had to go. He had to go. And I hope that they had a conversation. I hope they had an eye to eye. I hope they had a heart to heart above all those, pleasantries and ha 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 super surface conversation because, like, cancer. So it's interesting. It was just so wild. I'm sorry I went on like a tangent. It was so wild watching William stand there in like this ceremony and the music is playing in the background on the string quartet and he's standing around all this opulence and I mean the more it's beautiful. I could see myself walking the halls and whatever, but wow. And how could I forget? Part of William's first day back at royal duties, he gets to go to a charity gala with whom he is cozying up to Tom Cruise. Scientology. I mean, like, I'm gonna connect things, and I swear I've already said Shelly Miscavige. I feel Shelly Miscavige vibes with this whole Kate situation. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Because where is Kate? Where is she? But they're cozying up at this event here today, and I'm just like, but it was an issue when Harry was cozying up to John Travolta when he was at his Legends Award. It's okay for one, but not okay for the other. But why is it? I want a full picture of them. Okay, so this is the two of them in their tuxes at this charity gala. So that was William's first day back on royal duty. So I wonder what else he has planned and what other engagements we'll see him at throughout the week as Kate continues to recover, as King Charles recovers as well or gets treatment. Um, and as the rest of the royal family is kind of like, okay, what the F's going on? I'm probably sure that they're like panicking a little bit. And I do feel like if Harry and Meghan were there would be a lot more people where this work could be spread out to, and certain people wouldn't feel as stressed and as pressured. But it didn't shake out that way, so we will leave it at that. It's just very strange things. But one other thing I did want to touch on before I get off of here, because I'm like, I think this whole situation, everybody's talking about Taylor Swift, Taylor Swift, Taylor Swift. And I'm all about get your bag, whatever. I do feel like she's extremely overrated. I just don't see the literal, like, they think she's this iconic legend. I just don't see it in comparison to like so many other pop stars or superstars that we have seen and known and loved. Um, I, I I don't get it, but then I also don't get the hate that she gets. Like the men hate every time she comes up on the screen when football's on and stuff like that. Like it's fucking weird. It's like let her have her cute moment with her boyfriend, be cute. I do think it's weird that the NFL is using like her so much for promo. Like that game with the Chiefs and the Baltimore and the Ravens. She was like in all the promo and shit, and I can't even imagine how the Super Bowl is gonna be. But I do feel like Taylor may be a little bit feeling herself, or has gotten a little big headed, for lack of a better word, or like she's not coming off as humble. You know what I mean? And her going up to get that Grammy over this past weekend, and she's getting this Grammy via Celine Dion. Okay, Celine Dion, who has been ill, not doing that well, but she, rallied herself up, got herself together, looked gorgeous, and came to the Grammys. This is like one of the first times she's been out since everything, and she's given this award to Taylor Swift, and Taylor Swift like barely even acknowledges her. And yes, she took a picture with her, backstage and all, but like it was so jarring because you expect for like, I'm not saying you have to bow down, but some type of acknowledgement for who's giving you an effing Grammy, and especially given their situation. So a lot of people have frowned upon that, and that action. And I do think it's a little weird, not a little weird. I think it looked bad. And Taylor is getting a bad rap of things now, especially with people being annoyed. She's all in football, then this situation with the Grammys and her not acknowledging the Celine Dion, like, come on. And then now I saw this thing where, which is a little weird, there's an account that flight tracks Taylor Swift's movements. So, like, if she gets on a private jet or she gets on a plane, it's tracking her locations and what flight she goes to, the distances, the miles, the locations, all of this. It's tracking, right? And while that in itself is weird, it's really really weird. And yes, I know like flights all over, like you can track them, which I think is awesome. I think it's really cool, and some people really enjoy tracking flights and watching them if something diverts and this that and another. It's like a hobby for some. So I can't say it's necessarily that weird because it's somebody's hobby and it is kind of interesting, but specifically this account is targeting Taylor Swift. Let me find that account. Hold on. Okay, so I have the count up. It's called Taylor Swift's Jets Tracking, and it's at SwiftJet next day. Okay, so I guess she's going on these jets, right? to get to where she needs to go. I think I heard that Taylor has now reached like billionaire status. I didn't know that. I knew she was very wealthy. I knew she was hella influential, and everybody knows who she is. And people like to compare her to Michael Jackson, which I'm just like, and that's not even me being a hater. Just like, okay. But it says in the biography, Taylor Swift's jet tracking 24-hour delay. Jets tracked N621mm in 2009 Dassault Falcon 7X. So, telling what it is that they're tracking. This account has 58.1K followers. Sorry, I was struggling for a sec with my phone, couldn't get it together. But it's interesting because, on one hand, is it okay for this account to be doing this? But then on the other hand, the issue that people are bringing to people's attention is the briefness of these flights, okay? Short trips. And when you put a plane, whatever the F up, in the air, it leaves like a carbon footprint. And our ozone and everything is already fucked. We're gonna about literally this summer, we're probably about to burn to a crisp, okay? We're literally gonna be like that SpongeBob episode where they got stuck in Sandy's fucking bubble. This is gonna show my age. Got stuck in Sandy's bubble and it got drained of the water, and they were just sitting there like, because he's a fucking sponge and a starfish, SpongeBob and Patrick, and they're like dried up and crippled. That's gonna be us because our shit is fucked. All right, our ozone is fucked, and you're putting up jets in the air unnecessarily for a 13-minute trip. It tracked on 131, 2024. Apparently, she flew from Chickasaw, St. Louis, Illinois to St. Louis, Missouri. Approximate flight time 13 minutes. And it's just like 28 miles, 79 gallons, I guess, of fuel, 299 liters. So I guess all of that is public information, which is very interesting. But 79 gallons of fuel, 530 pounds, oh no, 530 pounds of jet fuel used, cost of fuel $443, and CO2 emission is 0.8342 tons. Okay, incredible that they know that the CO2 emission is 0.8342 tons. Okay, insane. So people are alarmed because, like, taking these unnecessary short 13-minute, 28-mile trips is just like, in our normal, human brains, insanity. And you're fucking with everybody's air and our fucking environment, doing that shit when you could have gotten a car. Not that it's that much better. Well, it is probably better, hell yeah, than putting a jet up in the air. I'm just saying that because I don't know figures. But when you could have took a car in a super fucking tinted, black the fuck out fucking SUV, and nobody would have been the wiser. They would have thought it was somebody, but they wouldn't have known it was you. So it's like when you see stuff like that, it's like, what is the point? So Taylor's not having a good week. And apparently she's trying to take action because she feels like this is like a stalking, harassment type of scenario, which I could see that. But it's also like you really have to be cognizant of like what you're doing when you're at that status. Like you can't lose touch with reality. I mean, having that much wealth, similarly to Prince William having all this opulence and this and another, I feel like they would lose track or lose touch of reality and what's going on with everybody the fuck else who's out here struggling, because it's just unnecessary. It's so unnecessary. I really just think people are asking her to maybe potentially think about lowering her carbon footprint. I mean, the same goes for Kim K. She has a fucking jet too. What is it, Kim Air? Like all fucking cashmere and shit. Like, same deal. Like, you don't need to be taking these 20-minute trips and putting all this CO2 into the air. It's just they have lost touch with reality a little bit. It's very, very strange, but like coming from people like a person who's never lived that type of life, not that I've struggled, but like the excess that they have. It's just, it's okay. It's a different thing to be comfortable, right? Where like you're good, but they have an excess of everything, an excess. So, I'm about to get off of here. I just wanted to touch on that because I know Super Bowl is coming up and we'll see what Taylor and Travis do. If they have another kiss and embrace, if the Chiefs win again. So, yeah, I'll catch you guys in another video. Bye bye.